The Aurelian Empire had a simple belief about humanity. Not all humans were equal. Some were soldiers. Some were scientists. Some were administrators. And then there were the colonists, especially the farmers. To the empire's noble class, farmers were the lowest tier of human existence. Untrained, unarmored, soft, replaceable. So when the empire initiated diplomatic inspection tours across fringe human colonies, they deliberately included one ritual, a controlled first contact duel. It wasn't meant to be fair. It was meant to demonstrate superiority. 2. The low-gravity colony. The destination was a mining agriculture world. Hestia Prime Outer Ring Colony 6. A low-gravity environment. Floating farmlands. Suspended irrigation systems. Harvest drones drifting like birds in thin atmosphere. To the Aurelian nobles it looked like a peaceful, harmless place. No fortifications. No visible military presence. Only farmers. Exactly what they expected. 3. The farmer chosen. The empire selected a human at random for demonstration purposes. A woman stepped forward. Name Venn. Occupation, farm unit supervisor. Age, 34. No military record. No combat training. She wore standard agricultural pressure gear, slightly patched at the shoulders. The noble laughed. This is your representative? The human colony official nodded silently. The noble smirked. Then this will be quick. 4. The noble's first move. The Aurelian noble stepped into the duel ring. He activated his ceremonial gravity blade, a weapon designed for intimidation. He didn't even fully engage stance. This is not combat, he announced. This is instruction. Mara stood still. The colony wind moved softly around them. The gravity difference made everything feel slightly slower. The noble raised his blade and struck. Fast, clean, perfect form, at least in his mind. 5. The miscalculation. What the noble didn't understand was simple. Low-gravity farmers do not move like soldiers. They move like systems adapted to instability. Mara didn't block. She didn't dodge late. She moved early. Not away from the strike, but into its predicted path. Her hand caught the noble's wrist mid-motion. A small twist. A shift in pressure. A transfer of momentum. The noble froze. For the first time, his blade was not in his control. 6. The first exchange ends. A soft crack echoed in the chamber. The noble dropped. Not dramatically. Not theatrically. Just suddenly unable to maintain balance in low gravity after losing wrist control and core alignment. His weapon floated upward. Mara stepped back calmly. The entire duel ring went silent. The noble tried to stand. Failed. His suit struggled to recalibrate posture systems. But Mara had already stepped away. Like nothing important had happened. 7. The shock. The Imperial observers didn't understand what they had just seen. One officer whispered, "She didn't use force." Another replied, "No, she used timing." A noble commander stood abruptly. That was luck. But even he didn't sound convinced. Because the data was clear. Reaction speed, abnormal. Movement efficiency, optimized for low gravity. Counter timing, preemptive prediction. This was not random. This was trained adaptation. 8. The truth about low-gravity farmers. Aurelian intelligence logs later revealed something they had ignored. Low-gravity farming is not gentle work. It involves suspended load balancing in unstable gravity fields, rapid directional corrections mid-air drift, heavy equipment control without stable footing, constant environmental unpredictability. Farmers don't stand still. They survive motion. And over generations, their bodies learn something soldiers often don't. How to fight without anchoring. 9. The second noble stepped forward. Angered, a second noble entered the ring. This one was faster, younger, arrogant. "This was an accident," he declared. "I will correct it." He engaged his full combat system. Gravity blade active. Motion predictors online. He attacked immediately. Mara didn't retreat. She simply adjusted her stance. A subtle shift, barely visible. The noble struck, and missed, not because she dodged, but because he struck where she was no longer going to be. 10. The collapse of confidence. The noble tried again, faster, stronger, more aggressive. But each time, Mara was not reacting. She was positioning, not defending. but redirecting outcome paths. Within seconds, his motion became unstable. In low gravity, overcommitment is fatal. One misalignment, one overreach, and his balance broke. He fell, harder than the first. 11. The colony reaction. The human colony officials finally stepped forward, not to intervene, but to observe the aftermath. One quietly said, "We told them not to choose farmers." An imperial officer frowned. "Why?" The official looked at Mara, then replied, "Because they think farming is passive work." A pause. "It is not. It is controlled survival under constant failure conditions." 12. Mara's silence. Mara finally spoke, not to the nobles, but to her own people. "You picked the wrong demonstration," she said calmly. "No pride, no aggression, just truth." Behind her, floating irrigation fields drifted in perfect synchronized motion. A system of balance, not designed for war, but capable of it, if necessary. 13. Imperial realization. The noble commander finally stepped back. For the first time, he reassessed human classification reports. "Update designation," he ordered quietly. A pause. Then, "Farmers are not non-combatants." He looked at the fallen nobles. "They are unregistered adaptive specialists." 14. Final observation. As the imperial delegation prepared to withdraw, Mara returned to her work without ceremony. No celebration, no recognition, just continuation. Because for her, nothing had changed. The crops still needed balance. The gravity still fluctuated. Life still required adjustment. And that was all the training she ever needed. 15. Final transmission. Imperial log entry. Assumption. Agricultural humans are low-threat entities. Result. Low-gravity adaptation produces preemptive combat cognition. Final line. They do not train for war. They train for imbalance.